Hi guys, it's Dr. Cody Dukes and we are back. And as you can see, just like I said in the last video, I finally was able to get that haircut. Yes, no, maybe. Well, nonetheless, I'm just glad to have gotten it out of the way. And on today, I want to talk about what makes people extraordinary. Because last time I talked about giftedness some, and I think that a lot of people have this perception that giftedness is the primary indicator of greatness. And while giftedness does play a role, and maybe I'll talk about that in future videos, today I want to talk about what truly makes someone extraordinary. So first, let's break down what it means to be extraordinary. The prefix of the word extra means supplemental, more, and it's added to the word ordinary. So extraordinary is simply someone who does more or extra than what ordinary people do. So this begs the question, does this mean that there are just some people who are born or pre-selected with the ability just to be able to do more than what other people can do? Does it mean that some people hit the proverbial genetic lottery and therefore they're destined to be great? I don't think so. I believe that everybody gets to a point in life where they have a choice to make. They can choose to be ordinary or they can choose to be extraordinary, more, greater than what ordinary people do. Some will choose to be ordinary and some will choose to be extraordinary. I'm sure that many of you know who Derrick Rose is. Derrick Rose today is a pretty decent NBA player. He's a good player. But once upon a time, Derrick Rose, his career was on this upward trajectory that just seemed like it had limitless potential. Now, this was before his career was marred by injury. But nonetheless, in the fall of the 2010-2011 season, Derrick Rose got up to a podium. Now, up to this point in his career, Derrick Rose had a pretty good career. He was the #1 overall pick to the Chicago Bulls coming out of college. He was the Rookie of the Year his first year in the NBA. His second year in the NBA, the year before this, he had made the All-Star team. Derrick Rose was on the path to being an NBA superstar. But going into his third year, at the beginning of the 2010-2011 season, it was like Derrick Rose had this epiphany. There were guys who were the #1 overall draft pick who went on to be pretty ordinary players. There were guys who were the Rookie of the Year their first season in the NBA and went on to have pretty ordinary careers. There are guys who have even been NBA All-Stars who've had very ordinary NBA careers. And Derrick Rose, before his third season, he decided that he did not want to be just an ordinary player. He decided that he wanted to do something extraordinary. So at the beginning of his third year, Derrick Rose gets up to a podium and gives what I consider to be the defining speech of his career. When asked about the upcoming season, Derrick Rose had this to say: "Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that? I think I work hard. I think I dedicate myself to the game and I sacrifice a lot of things at a young age. And I know if I continue to do good, what I can get out of it. And if that means going out to do whatever, I'm willing to do it because I know in the long run, it's going to help me." So Derrick Rose says, why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in this league? Why can't I do something that only extraordinary people do? So he says, first, I want to be MVP. MVP is the most valuable player in the league. That means that he adds more value to his team than any other player adds to their team. And if you remove him from his team in this season would lose more than removing any other player from any other team. But not only that, He says, I want to be the best player in this league. Now you're talking about a league that has the likes of Kobe Bryant, 6'6", 210, scoring machine, already considered all-time great. LeBron James, 6'9", 250, built like a truck, already considered an all-time great. And Derrick Rose says, I want to be better than both of them. And so he says, why not? He said this right after though. I know the type of time I would have to put in. I know the sacrifices I would have to make, but I'm willing to do it because I know that it would be good for me. So the only thing that was keeping Derrick Rose from being truly great was a decision to do what he said he already knew that he needed to do. And would you believe that in the year 2010, 2011, Derrick Rose went out and put up career numbers. He dominated the NBA. He became unguardable. He played like the best player in the league. And at the end of the season, he was named MVP of the NBA. He went out and did something that only extraordinary people do. But he did it simply because he chose to. And I'm saying that because there are a lot of you who are watching who will live a life doing ordinary things. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with doing ordinary things. Ordinary just simply means things that most people do. It is ordinary to take a bath every day. I hope. So most people take a bath every day. I hope. If 25 years from now, most people stop taking a bath every day, it will be ordinary to not take a bath every day. I hope not. So many people will spend their life doing ordinary things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to know that if you spend your life doing ordinary things, it's not because you have to. It's not because you were born into a situation where you just don't have the capability to do something extraordinary. It's not because other people were born with this thing, this potential to do great things that you don't have, and therefore they're going to outperform you. No, it's simply because you are choosing not to. And I'll tell you what I base this belief on. In his book, Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell details the 10,000 hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule simply states this, that it takes 10,000 hours of practicing a specific skill to develop a master level ability at that skill. So if you want to be a master level basketball player, 10,000 hours jump shooting to be a master level jump shooter. 10,000 hours dribbling to be a master level ball handler. If you want to be a master accountant, 10,000 hours just to get a mastery of accounting. 10,000 hours punching those numbers, 10,000 hours counting just to be a master. That's why in most professional schools and doctoral programs, they require some level of internship so that when they send you out in the real world to practice as an expert and a master, you have put in time and hours developing the skill. And the 10,000 hour rule, it was based on a study done in the UK where they went to this performing arts school. And at this performing arts school, they asked the teachers to divide all of their students up into 3 categories. The top category was those who would go on to be master level performers. They would sell out concert halls and perform at the highest levels. The second category were those who would be really good. They wouldn't be extraordinary though. They wouldn't be great. Maybe they would perform in a band. And then the bottom level would be those who would be good at performing. Maybe they would just be good enough to be a teacher, but not extraordinary or great. And when they did this, when they divided the students up, what they found was the only difference between those who were in the top category of master and those who were in the bottom category of just being good was that at this point in their life, they had put in a certain amount of what they call deliberate practice into their craft to get as good as they were. What they found is that the only difference between being great, extraordinary, and being good was that they chose to work harder than other people. So what does that mean for you? That means that what's keeping you from being extraordinary, the only thing standing between you and true greatness is not your family background. It's not your race. It's not your socioeconomic background. It's not your upbringing. It's not your two-parent home. The only thing standing between you and being extraordinary is a choice to put in the work, to put in the time, to make the sacrifices, to be great. So if that is the case, this is my challenge to you today. I want you to just take a moment and I want you to think about what is one thing that you know that you need to do to be extraordinary. Derrick Rose said he knew the work that he needed to put in. He knew the sacrifices he needed to make. So I want you to think about what is the one thing that you need to do that's keeping you from being extraordinary? What is the one thing that you need to do, the choice you need to make, the thing you need to sacrifice, the thing you need to let go of that can get you to the next level? And once you've identified it, I want you to work on doing that thing over the next week. And whatever that thing is, do me a favor, I want you to write it in the comments. I would also like for you to like and subscribe to my channel. But if you don't do that, if you know one person that this video would help, I ask that you help me by sharing this video with them. And come back next time. Thanks guys for your time, and I'll see you later.